Do you have plan B?
All of my plans sort of rolling together.
Where is that plan A?
Plan A is plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, really.
So where is that ultimate goal that when Abi Rose Kelly gets there, she's happy and content?
I just want to be happy creating something, you know, and I think I've been very creative for as long as I can remember. I think it's been one of my main outlets as a little kid, from acting to singing and to then writing my own songs and then writing ideas for TV shows and films and stuff. I would just be happy and content if I was just, for a living, I was able to create. So yeah. So that's why I think all my plans are sort of interlinked, because you see all these musicians nowadays who just go across into like acting and acting who go across into musicians or whatever. So, and I mean, I won't give away my full game plan because someone might copyright it, but I'd like to use the sound for music, basically. Sound for film, rather. Definitely, I love writing backing tracks and stuff like that. So it's definitely somewhere else that I get a love from music as well, as writing songs and singing and being Abi Rose Kelly. I also get a lot of joy from writing film soundtracks, and so it's just creating. I just love creating things.
As you know yourself, music industry is just massive, from like composition and arrangement to recording to being an instrument player to mixing and mastering and publishing and distribution. And
I don't think I could work in the music industry where it stops being about music and more about a business
side of
it.
Okay.
I don't think I could do that, because I don't know, there's just a passion for creating things and writing things.
So you'd rather to be in the creative side?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So when you want to release a song, what's your release strategy?
Giving away all my secrets. No, so I use a distribution company called 3Tone, which is basically works the same as like TuneCore, where you can like upload your own song, but the 3Tone is different. With you've got a rep that comes with it, so you upload a song and you'll get an email and it's like a human and it's not a robot, so it kind
of... So it's not AI then?
Yeah, it's not an AI, you know. So you get like from TuneCore you get automatic emails that send once you've submitted something, and the pressure is sort of all on you to pitch and to pitch the Spotify playlist and get that done in time so you might get it approved on New Music Friday and stuff. But with 3Tone, you sort of you've got like a team that sort of chat like only via email. Like, I mean, I've never really spoke to anybody in person. But just having that and knowing that there's actually someone else there who's also listened to the song. And it's kind of their job to help you, so it's like it takes a lot of the pressure off, and and I think it works out cheaper than TuneCore as well, to be honest. Yeah. So
TuneCore, is it the same as ASCAP? Is it distribution company is it distribution?
Yeah.
Company?
So TuneCore is like DistroKid and they're all
distribution companies. Okay, cool. So it's not like a publishing or
no. I've had press releases before. But that's just when, you're a broke student. Like, I feel like if you're spending £400 on getting your single done on average, and you're spending 300, 400 on a press release for all this promised traffic that you may or may not get, you're already on about 800. And then that's not even including mastering or a music video or a photo shoot. And it just, you're already at £1,000. So it's just, being like a student or just being someone who works full time at a normal day job can't afford that.
Of course.
And especially when it comes, it can kind of bring you down a bit, because it's you've got a song that you feel so passionate about and you want it to be well received and you want it to get in front of the right people. Absolutely. But you don't have this disposable income that you can just throw at it. So I don't really do that anymore. So so I go with 3-tone, and then I hope for the best. No, I'm joking. I just try and get my own photo shoots and just try and drive up the content. Maybe reach out to people myself on Instagram, emails back and forth. I wouldn't, in the position that I'm in now, I wouldn't be reaching out and paying for press releases yet,
Sure.
or anything like that.
So do you have an IPI number?
My mum's gonna whip me because I need to sign up for the PRS. I need that £100. She's gonna whip me.
If you do it with ASCAP, I've done it with ASCAP myself, and it's like $100.
Yeah, and it's like a single payment. Or
Yeah, it's a single payment for $100.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the challenges that you had in life.
I think I touched on before. I was quite an anxious kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that my parents noticed really early on. I was first sort of started seeing counsellors and whatnot when I was 4 to deal with anxiety and just constantly worrying. I go through phases where I'm alright, but then it is something that is like constantly looming in my life.
How do you deal with it?
Writing songs has always been
A
form of a release, yeah. And I think also performing as well. Like on a day of a gig, I'll be so riled up, and I won't be able to speak to anyone. Won't anybody speak to me? I'll be a proper stress head. But maybe not the second I'm on stage, because I'm still crapping myself. But then the first few chords of the song come in, and then it's like a light sort of go, like either switches off or on, because it's like in that I'm just complete. There's nothing that can attack me now. There's nothing that can hit me. There's nothing that can be unless someone lobs a rock from the stage and it hits me on the head. There's nothing that can sort of get me out of I don't know. It feels quite euphoric. Like just I feel like part of it is just because you're allowed to, in that moment, I allow myself to feel proud, because I think that's something that you always, when you feel anxious and you feel down, is that you're always getting on it yourself. You're not doing the best that you can do. You're procrastinating. You're sleeping away the days. And the self-talk to yourself when you're struggling is just awful. Mm-hmm. And to be able to have something like performing and like writing, to sort of lose yourself in that way, like it's a nice escape, but it's not an escape because it's who you want to be. Mm-hmm. Like constantly living in that, when you're in that position, like when you're on stage, it's like that's who you are. True. And that's a glimpse of who you are, and you're just it's just hard to battle thoughts and these what the world goes through and how that affects you and like mental illnesses, and it just it's pain in the arse to fight every day. You're not going to win every day. True. And I think that's something that I have to realise is that you every day you're going to wake up, you're going to feel different about something. And one day you might be having a really bad day, and the next day you might be completely fine. But as long as you know, as long as you know what you have to fight it, and I think, because I do think that it sort of comes hand in hand when you're a creative person. Like, there's a lot of tortured artists out there, like even in history, like Vincent van Gogh, blah blah blah, whatever. It's when you've been given the gift of feeling that creatively inclined, and then sure. It kind of comes at a price, and you will have to deal with the effects of it. And I just think that losing yourself in the creative side of it, that makes up for it, and definitely it's something worth fighting for, 100%. And that's all I believe. When you're struggling, that's all you got to do. You just got to realise that there is things to keep going for. I
do agree 100% with you, and every day is a challenge. And for me, having a lifestyle that I try to eat healthy, try to exercise every day. When I say try, it means that it might not happen every day, but I try to make it happen every day. Try to meditate every day. Living is an opportunity, if I'm alive today, I could be dead right now, and I could go out and boss can hit me. You know,
And you
I
can
don't
just be
know.
over like that.
Yeah, that's it.
It is so true. Like exercising and going on walks and eating right. Like it does. It's such a pain in the ass because it does make you feel better. But when you know you've been in a bit of a slump, like it's so hard to get back into the.
Oh yeah.
So I'm dying to like have the confidence to walk back into a gym. Like it's still something that I'm like constantly fighting myself. Will I sign up to the gym today or will I not? You know, and I've been like that for months now because I know how great I'd feel. Like, because when I go on like a walk or something and I get a bit out of breath, like, and I feel after it, you feel like, oh, that felt good because, you know, you've done 10,000 steps on your Fitbit, that feels good. But it is just sometimes, you know, you let your anxiety your depression can win, and I think that's also something that's got to be recognised, that you're not going to win every day, but as long as you try and find a mentality where you can live with a sad day, even if, you know, it's like 5 days happy, 2 days sad. If you can find that balance of being able to, because then you can appreciate life so much more as well, when you do find that part of peace that you've been really looking for a while. Like I remember going camping and it was great, and I just had a really shit couple of months, and then we all woke up and it was like we walked up like this hill in the pitch black, and it was horrible, but then in the morning and you could see the sun coming up, it was just really pretty. And it was like, and I mean, not to be like a whole like nature is great advocate, but it was, you know, it just, I don't know, brings like a sense of peace, and then it's like, oh yeah, I feel like I've reset myself. You know, so it's great. So you need to find that balance. You need to find things that you love, that keep you going, definitely.
Like, I think living a musician's life is a very busy life because you're doing 20 jobs, especially at the beginning. You don't have the privilege of having a mixing engineer, mastering engineer, a PR, distribution company that really works on your behalf, composer. So you don't have the privilege of being in a team.
Yeah.
You're finding that team. You are the team. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It is draining, yeah. I get what you mean.
How do you think musicians can survive financially? If you want to tell a couple of things that you use it yourself, or you want to start doing them, what are those things that you would think that if I do these things, or if people do these things, they would be able to handle their finances better?
Something that was always great for me, I mean, the biggest revenue in music now, unfortunately, is merchandise. So like, because Spotify distribution, streaming services, like it's like 0.00000 something. You know, you have to listen to your own song 10,000 times to make it count. And
you gotta put it on a loop,
yeah,
or something.
Trust me, that's painful. That's where all my streams come from. But so yeah, t-shirts and stuff, because you wanna create something that, you know, you have I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm in a position to say that I've got fans, but I've definitely got people that like my music. And
I want to stop you there. I had one quote, and it was saying, if you have 1,000 true fans, right, you don't need anything else. Imagine you don't need millions. If you have 1,000 true fans that they buy stuff from you, they come to your shows, you're made up. Like 1,000, for example, of the t-shirts that you put out there.
Exactly.
That's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Or 1,000 tickets that they buy for your show.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Consistency, yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, definitely sucking it up and playing covers at a pub for a couple of hours pays better than most gigs that I do as playing my own music. Like, I get paid more to play covers, which some people hate. Because they feel like it's, you know, they're selling out, they don't want to sell covers, but they don't want to play covers, sorry. But I just think right now where I'm at, it's something that is an extra couple of £100 that I wouldn't have had yesterday. And it's definitely more in 2 hours than you would do working a full day at like a restaurant.
Sure.
So if you're working at a restaurant then doing the gig, then you've got that disposable income that you can put right back into music. So definitely just leaping at any sort of opportunity like that, 100%. And merchandise, 100%. I remember when I first started releasing music, I must have released like 3 different T-shirts in like weeks after each other, and it was just I was pestering the same people again and again. Do you want a new T-shirt? And do you want another one? Do you want a new one? I don't do it anymore, thankfully.
But that's the way it happens. You gotta hustle. You gotta do what you think can make it happen for you. You know, 100%. That's what it is. How do you think we're gonna listen and consume music in the next 20 years?
But we're going backwards, aren't we?
Kind of, but in the other hand, you can see like all the meta stuff that's going on, all the AI that's going on.
I don't think
virtual concerts going on.
I think it just because it's like, oh, this is such a cool thing, like AI and virtual gig, but it's not. It's never going to compare to buying a ticket and actually going down to a stadium or going down to a small venue and being 10 feet away from someone that you've idolised for years. It's never going to be that. I don't think streaming's going to go anywhere. I think that's going to stay the same.
Streaming. I
think that hopefully at some point someone will smack some sense into an owner of Spotify or any of them, just be like, please pay the artist just a little bit more, just than 70%.
Rather than 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Knock one of the zeros down.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, be lenient. But I don't think that I think that they're cool, but they're just sort of like a novelty.
I would like to think the same way, and I would like to
but
believe.
You never know.
But the problem is, if we go back in time and we look at the time that all these apps for banks and different banks started to come out for banks and credit cards, a lot of people were skeptical toward them, saying, "No, should I put my details in a mobile phone and stuff like that? No, I'd rather to go to a bank." Nobody goes to a bank right now. I'm not saying nobody, but like there are billions and billions of transactions through phones right now. You know what I mean?
But I think performing and performances and music is something you can't take away the personal aspect
I hope
of it.
so.
I
hope
I mean, I think COVID tried its hardest to try and I remember doing live streams and stuff, and it was just not a great great time. I had a cool live stream actually with Aloe Sound, which was great, but that was after some restrictions had been lifted. But you can't take away that personal feeling, because that's the thing that sort of gets you as a whole. Like, you listen to an album because when a new album comes out, a tour's about to be announced, and you know that. So you listen, you learn all the lyrics, and you learn the song. The first time you listen to it in order, like that whole ritual of getting a new album and then seeing the tour and then getting ready to go see the tour, getting all your countdowns and stuff. Like, no one's ever gonna have a countdown app for a virtual live stream, because it's not as much as it is real. It's not real. It's not. It can't compare. So I just hope and pray.
I hope so.
I hope.
So tell me 3 things, or a few things, that when you walk out of this podcast today, that you're gonna start doing it. If it's a long-term kind of goal, or if it's a short-term goal, you're gonna do it within the next few weeks. So this is gonna stay on the internet for a while. I'll choose wisely. Only messing.
Yeah, I just wanna stay in this positive relationship that I've got with writing, because I think you can go through writer's block, but you can also go through thinking that you're a bit shit.
Oh, you're in a good place right now in terms of writing. Oh, that's great.
And I hope to continue that sort of, and I can't wait to see what I'm writing in like 10 years, because I don't think even if I did end up in a 9 to 5, like God forbid, I mean 9 to 5s are great for people, but God forbid I end up in a 9 to 5, I still will be writing. I'll be 67 and still writing. Like,
so it would be never the case that you drop music completely.
No, because it's not it's not for want or need of a career. It's just something that would be really cool if it did happen. It's a personal outlet, and I think that I sort of realised that over the past couple of years, and been like, everything, all the songs that I put out are like really they're actually quite personal to me. And you know, Polar and Violence I wrote when I was 16, and it's probably like one of the best songs that I've written so far. And I just you know, I can't wait to see how I develop and stuff, like be able to look back on my own journey, even if no one else is kind of watching it, you know, it doesn't matter. But a long-term goal is to keep that relationship and with music, and keep that mantra of people around you, they're not, you know, they're friends, they're not, you know, people to be jealous of. You know, keeping, like, being supportive, support your other artist friends as well. I need to be a bit better with that sometimes, because I'm a bit of like what are they called?
What do you call it?
A hermit. I can be a bit of a hermit sometimes.
They would call me the same.
Yeah.
My friend called me, "Are you gonna come out of your cell?" Or...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So I need to be a bit better with supporting my other artist friends. And another short-term goal is get better at production, so I can, you know, release my own. Like I could release like demo versions on Spotify, like up to a really good standard before, like say if like an independent label were like, oh, we quite like this. So if I could get it up to that standard first, it takes away a lot of like the money that gets thrown around and stuff. So if I can do it myself,
of course,
you know, I can carry on making to my heart's content, really.
Sure.
Because I can do it myself.
Absolutely.
Not relying on anyone else. So that's definitely a long term and short term, because I guess I don't want to fail my degree. So I guess I better get better at it while I can.
3 things that you're grateful for.
Definitely the household that I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
My relationship with my family, definitely. The relationship with the people that I've got around me now. I'm really grateful for, you know, meeting new people and learning about how they write, and even my non-creative friends, like you know, who come to every gig and whatever, and just support the work. I'm really grateful for that, and I'm grateful for just every musician and talented person and film writer and director, just everybody's got beautiful brains, and I just really appreciate them, because it's not. I realised, well, I mean, it's probably a known thing, but I had sort of like a self-epiphany the other day that, like, everybody, you know, there's similar stories and similar songs and whatever, but if it comes from a different person, it's their take on it, you know, and I think I really like looking at things like that. So I appreciate the shit out of everyone that has ever made a TV show that I like, a film that I like, an album that I like. They've helped me grow up, and they've given me
all the influences.
Yeah, all the influences. Like, they've given me, you know, I don't know, I've never had my emotions played with more than like The Walking Dead, like something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or like Blurry Face by 21 Pilots. Like, I've never. Like, it's just crazy that someone else who doesn't even know you, is millions of miles away, can have that effect on you, and I think it's just really cool. So I really appreciate the fact that people can do that.
Abi Rose Kelly.
Yes.
Last words.
If I could say anything to anybody who has listened to me mumble for the past hour and a bit, I would say just please be patient with me, because I'm still figuring out who I am. Each song that I release is completely different to one another, and I'm still working on who I am as a musician and who I am as a creative person in general. And I think that patience is key, because everyone, you know, you're all great, and you know, so why not?
Absolutely, you're in a journey, you know.
Yeah.
It takes time.
We're in this together.
Absolutely. We gotta help each other as human beings to grow. You know, that's the way I look at it.
What's that quote from Brendan Fraser? People need people.
That's it.
Something like that.
Otherwise,
from the whale. I've not
AI is
seen it
going to
yet,
take
but-
over. Otherwise, AI is going to take over.
Yeah. Oh.
Abi Rose Kelly, everybody, make sure you go down in the description. I'm going to put all the links of her music down in the description, and I'm going to put all the links to her social media down there as well. Make sure you go there, click on them, listen to her music, and go follow her on her socials as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
That's what
mate.
we do at the end of the
course. I
podcast.
just put everyone.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks very
Oh, yeah.
much. And we see you
Thank you for having me.
soon. It was a pleasure. Thank you.